And so third person limited point of view, third person omniscient point of view. Two types are there. And see, a third person narrative means the narrator is a character who stands outside the events. Clear, he is an outsider. And then but he knows about the plot. He stands outside but knows about the plot. Two categories of third person narrators are there. The first category is called the omniscient third person narrative. The second, limited third person narrative. Omniscient, as the word suggests, the all-knowing narrator, who can enter the consciousness of any character and evaluate their motives and explains their feelings, has a full knowledge of story's events. Clear? Two types of third person narrators are there. The first one is the omniscient type, omniscient third person narrator. As the word suggests, it is the all-knowing narrator who knows everything about the story. He has the freedom to enter into the consciousness of any character, and he has the right to evaluate their feelings, emotions, etc. An all-knowing narrator. That is actually the omniscient third person narrator. Omniscient third person narrator is the all-knowing narrator who has the freedom to enter into the consciousness of any character, and he has a full knowledge of the story's events. And then the third person limited point of view, narrator recounts the story through the eyes of a single character. Understood? The omniscient knows everything, but the limited third person narrator, the second category of third person narrator, he explains things through the eyes of a single character. How a single character views things. An extreme form of third person limited point of view is the stream of consciousness technique, used to replicate the thought process of a character with little or no intervention by the narrator. And see, there is a stream of consciousness technique that we will study later. It was a technique used by writers like Faulkner, James Joyce, Virginia Woolf, etc. That is a very important technique. James Joyce's Ulysses, James Joyce's A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. These are all good examples. That is the uninterrupted flow of emotions through the mind of the character. Narrator will not interfere. The past and the present and the future, everything mingled in the mind of the consciousness, and it is presented as such. That is the stream of consciousness technique. That also comes in the limited third person point of view. Hope you have understood. First person narrator, then third person narrators, who are the two different types of third person narrators. You have understood, isn't it? And then I told you that second person narrative or the second person point of view, it is rarely used in fiction. But how will you identify it? Here, you, the pronoun you will be used. The narrator addresses the narratee directly using the pronoun you and assumes that the narratee is experiencing the events along with the narrator. Can be the reader, can be the character or the listener. Understood? Third person point of view is rarely used in fiction. And here the narrator directly addresses the narratee. See, this is the technique, second person narrative. Now I am explaining the second person narrative or the second person point of view. I told you it is rarely used in fiction. What happens in second person narrative? The narrator addresses the narratee. The narrator addresses the narratee. directly using the pronoun you. You will be used. Narrator is addressing the narratee. Narratee, somebody within the story. And he is addressed as you. Understood? And the narrator assumes that the narratee is experiencing all the events along with the narrator. Understood? Along with the narrator, narratee also experiences everything. And this can be a reader or a character or a listener. And now we will discuss the narrative techniques. What are the narrative techniques used? See, the writers use many techniques to captivate and engage the attention of the readers. Here are a few techniques. Understood? Narrative technique is very important than the story itself. Narrative techniques are very, very important. We will discuss some narrative techniques which are usually used by writers to get the attention of the readers. I'm now talking about the different narrative techniques used in fiction. And one, anachronism, that is the flashback and flash forward. Clear? Anachronism. This is the first technique. Flashback and flash forward. Going back to the past and then going forward. And so what is anachronism? Flashback and flash forward? It is the discrepancy between the order of events in a story and the order in which they are presented in the plot. See, you understood? See, the discrepancy between the order of events in the story and the order in which they are presented in the plot. And see, here you should understand what is flashback. A flashback interrupts the chronological order of the plot to recount an event in the past to fill in background information about characters and events. Understood? And so the disagreement between the order of events in the story and as they are presented in the plot, that is called anachronism. And it includes flashback and flash forward. Flashback is going to the past, sometimes in order to explain a character to the audience. You will see an account of an event in the past is narrated. The chronological order is broken and you go back to the past. Flashback. It's very much common in films also. Flashbacks. By the flashback, the audience or the reader will be getting an information, the background information about characters and events. Flash forward. It's the interjected scene in a narrative that takes the narrative forward in time from the current time in the story. That is, flash forward is the opposite. A scene which goes to the front, which moves forward, projecting to the future. That is flash forward. Then foreshadowing, that is another term that comes here. Foreshadowing is a literary device in which the writer gives subtle hints about the events that are going to take place in the story. And then what is the difference between flash forward and foreshadowing? In flash forward, an incident in the future will be presented. Thus the story moves forward. The exact story will be revealed in flash forward. But in foreshadowing, only the hints are given. You got it? And so, when we discuss about the narrative techniques, the first one is anachronism. And when you understand anachronism, what is anachronism? A discrepancy between the order of events in the story and the order in which they are presented in the plot of fiction. That is it. Here comes the terms like flashback, flash forward, and foreshadowing. You should understand all these terms. A flashback, you are familiar with flashbacks, especially in films. A peep into the past, or events from the past narrated, recounted, so that the reader or the audience will be getting a background information. Flash forward, a future event is put in the plot. It carries the story forward. And then foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is a literary device in which the writer gives subtle hints about the events that are going to take place in the story. Understood? In foreshadowing, the writer will be giving hints, only hints, not a full story. In flash forward, the full incident is described, but in foreshadowing, only hints and clues are given about something that is going to happen. Clear? Now I hope that you got the difference between flashback, flash forward, and foreshadowing, and mainly the difference between flash forward and foreshadowing. Flash forward, the incident described in detail, pushing the story forward into the future, while foreshadowing, writer gives some subtle hints about what is going to happen.